And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell Blanken, are Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell Blanken. Tyler, it is Sunday, June 12th. It is hot in Arizona. Hot. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, Brad, I'm sweaty, just like the rest of us, but all is well, man. It was a good week. It's been a really nice weekend. Like you said, us in Arizona are dealing with a heat wave right now, so it is serious out here, but I have very few, if any, complaints. How are you, my dude?
People that don't live in Arizona don't understand. They don't understand. I mean, I grew up in Michigan, so coming out here we moved out here, I think, in either late June or early July in 2007. I just never really knew what it was going to be like, and our apartment complex had covered parking, so it was really great. And I didn't know until we moved out of covered parking what kind of damage a seatbelt could do. Like, I had no idea. You need oven mitts. Driving gloves were not made for the winter. They were made for the summer.
So true.
I don't know. When I see people driving on the highway out here not wearing sunglasses, I don't know how they do that. I don't know if they have like one of those crocodile type second lens things, second set of eyelids that just like shoots over their eyes to protect them.
It's a choice. It's a bold choice.
It's absolutely blinding out there. Yeah. It hurts. The inside of the car, you could probably cook things in, including yourself. It's bad. This is my least favorite driving time of year, but man, do I love monsoon season, and it's getting close.
Mm-hmm. It is. Our longtime listeners will know that you and I love our desert state. But yeah, certainly start of June, man. It's not. No one will say that's their favorite time of year, but hopefully we're hydrating. We're enjoying the AC as much as we can. And yeah, man, I remember when I was young, I think I had a box of crayons in my mother's Saturn. And we did not take those crayons out one summer. And so, yeah, it was a Saturn. It's like this dark green. I forget the model, but it was good, man. It got us from point A to point B. But those crayons were just done. I think they were from Macaroni Grill or some restaurant. And I was going to use those crayons, but you just can't. You have to be very thoughtful about what you leave in your car. I had hand sanitizer in my car for, I think, the past few summers, actually. And I don't know if it was a friend or an article I read, or maybe I was watching the news, Brad, and I was reminded that hand sanitizer has alcohol in it. And thus, you probably shouldn't leave it when your car is baking all day. So I've tried to be more thoughtful and prevent fires and just general discomfort when I get in the vehicle. There's nothing like getting in your vehicle after it's been outside, uncovered, sunscreen up, but uncovered. And then you just have to, like you said, you have to just grab that seatbelt. You got to commit to it, rip the Band-Aid completely off, and then try to get home as quickly and safely as possible. Crank up the AC, of course, as well. Got to have the AC in the car.
Yeah, and don't leave your chapstick in the car. Don't leave your deodorant. If you have like backup deodorant.
Ooh. Carmex, the lip balm.
Oh, yeah, it's gone. It's gone. It's going to be absolute.
We're out here with cap lips, yeah.
Yeah, and like if you're like, I don't know why. I shouldn't say I don't know why. I know why people do it. But bumper stickers, they're baking on. You're never getting that off. I don't care what you do. Once you put that on a bumper, like you put it on glass, and you're going to have to scrape it off with a razor blade. It's never coming off. Everything just gets kind of baked in out here. But I'll tell you what, when you live in a place where it rains a lot, you don't look forward to the rainy days. They just simply are. And sometimes it's, 4 or 5 days of rain. You're like, come on, when is this going to be done? But out here, when you have days where it's like you have sun, rain, beautiful sunsets, you can see lightning in the distance. all of this stuff all kind of at the same time. I love the summer evenings out here are undefeated. We went to the Desert Museum, the Sonoran Desert Museum last night, and walked around
Yeah,
at night.
I didn't ask you about that. I've been there
Yeah.
before.
Oh, I absolutely love it out there. We renewed our membership. We do it every year. Doing the Saturday nights in June and July are a ton of fun. Freya loves going out there with the black light looking for scorpions.
Yeah.
Some people might not know that if you shine a scorpion with a black light, they glow. It's fun, man. Like it was just a really nice night to get out, do something that wasn't totally crazy, and it was a really good week for me and the fam. It was a great week shopping as well. And I know later on we're going to discuss some of these things, but you said the listeners wanted to know, so I wanted to talk about my balls. I am a boxer brief guy, Tyler. As you said, not briefs. I am not a superhero of any kind. I am not Doug. I am not I don't know, Steve Carell in every movie where he's been in his underwear.
These are all great examples. I'm with you.
But I'm out on boxers, and I told you that I need more control over the boys. They can't be going all willy-nilly. And I know you just agreed with me on mute, so that was good. I'm not sure where you was that flatulence pause there? Is that what that was?
We'll go with that.
Okay, good. As I discuss my underwear, hit up Ross today and got some good deals. But we'll more on that later in the show. And the pitfalls of Ross.
Yeah, that's a hell of a tease, my dude. I love it. We will absolutely discuss soon. But before that, Brad, what a busy week in the world of professional wrestling. Of course, we're going to start out specifically with All Elite Wrestling. So I'm just going to jump into it, man. My first question for you pertains specifically to the introduction of the All Atlantic Championship and thus the All Atlantic Tournament. So, Brad, we have a new belt that is introduced now in the AEW world. It's not the one we expected. You and I have spoken at length before about the trios titles being introduced. Yeah. I think Tony Khan's been on record of saying that will happen when Kenny Omega is back. Right. The idea of maybe women's tag titles. There's a lot of options, but we were introduced to this belt. I think the belt is beautiful. I think the talent that have been announced to be in this tournament are all fantastic. And finally, we saw the Bastard Pack, one of my favorite wrestlers, defeat Buddy Matthews. Brad, I was so excited when you texted me about this match happening. I think you put out I forget if you texted me directly. I may have saw in your tweet, which said, man, what did it say? It was brief. You said, I don't know if you said OMG or I think you'll just say you said, oh my God, for it, right? I was as excited as you.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Pac got the win. My question for you, though, Brad, is looking at the announced names for this tournament. We have Pac who advanced, like I said. The next matches we know of are Ethan Page versus Miro on this week's Dynamite. And we're also going to get at some point soon Penta Oscuro versus Malachi Black. Brad, you know how we do it with tournaments. Who are you picking to win this thing? I'm kind of conflicted on it. I got to get your prediction and, of course, just your overall thoughts on the introduction of this new title.
I have more thoughts as this is also one of my questions later on. So I'll save some of them for later. The winner of this title, I kind of feel like it has to be Malachi Black. It could be Pac. Malachi has to advance, right? Like he has to be the one that's advancing.
Oh, definitely. Penta. Yeah, Pac, right. In my mind, Pac beats Buddy Matthews. So then House of Black just recoups the loss with Malachi beating Penta 100%.
So I don't know when or if they've had the qualifier match in New Japan for this title. So I'm gonna look it up while you go off screen here. I really don't know who the talent is that's going to be involved. So I'm really confused as to who's going to win. So Ethan Page and Miro, I think that match is going to rule. I think those are two enormous human beings, and Ethan Page cut a hell of a promo for this match. Penta and Malachi has to advance, and then the New Japan talent for the All Atlantic belt is, I don't think it's announced yet. It just says that it'll happen. So I asked you right when you went off here, who are the New Japan wrestlers and when is that happening? Do you know?
I don't think any of us know at this point.
Okay, so Okada dropped the belt to Switchblade Jay White.
Yes, Dominion. Big news.
Huge news.
Did not expect that.
I think Okada goes in this tournament. If Okada goes in this tournament, Okada wins the belt. Like there's no question in my mind that he'll take it. And if we get like Okada versus Miro, which would be great, I'd rather see Okada versus Pac if that's the way that it lines up, because that match would be insane. But I think Okada wins that if he were to move on. I feel like Malachi beats Penta. Whoever comes out of New Japan beats whoever is on that side of the bracket. That's the unfortunate reality. Otherwise, I would pick Malachi. I just don't think they're going to, if you're going to have that. Oh, wait, no, this is the Fatal 4-way. So it'll be all four of them. So Malachi will be in.
That's
I forgot.
right.
There's not going to be people winning. So it's just going to be four people. So if we get Okada in this match, Pac is already in it. I think Miro moves on over Ethan Page, even though I would love to see Ethan Page get shine.
Great Ethan Page promo, by the way.
Unbelievable.
The dude is just, I mean, he's got to be in contention for one of the most underutilized talents in the company, you know? Top 5.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. This match is gonna hump.
It is.
Malachi Black, probably. Pac, I'm gonna say Miro, and I'm gonna say I don't know who's coming out of this from over there. We could see people that we've already seen from New Japan. Will Ospreay might come out of this. Okada might come out of this. Yes. And I'm sure we'll talk about that, but I don't know who's winning this. I really don't. So I would have said that in the finals will be an AEW guy and a New Japan guy, but now we know that it's a 4-way that I don't know who wins because I don't know who the other people are. I'm picking Okada if he's in it. Otherwise, I'm going to say it's going to be Malachi Black. What says you?
I love it. Well, at first, it kind of reminds me of the last tournament that we saw, the Owen, where you and I thought the Jokers were going to play a much bigger role in the outcome of the tournament. I think you and I, frankly, Brad, thought the Jokers were going to advance to the finals in the men's and women's bracket. So my point is, I'm curious if the surprise element of the New Japan part of the bracket will actually lead to, oh no, that person is the favorite to win, or if it will just be not very consequential at all.
Right.
That being said, I actually have a different take than you on this. I am very tempted to choose Miro just because I think that man deserves gold.
Yeah.
All the time. However, my heart is really leaning towards Pac. I think this could be a great opportunity to elevate him. I just really believe as a day one original of AEW, this dude would so benefit from having a title. I think this is the perfect time for him. I think he is the dude to just get this belt off to a great start. So I'm leaning either Pac or Miro, even with the surprise element of New Japan. But I'm just going to go with my heart here and pick Pac.
And so I was thinking about House of Black, and 2 of the 3 male members of it are in this tournament. And House of Black has no gold. I think eventually they'll be trios champs.
Definitely.
I think there's the potential for Buddy or Malachi to end up with one of the titles. Brody King, I don't know if he needs a title anyway.
I don't think so.
Tag or trios, absolutely. I want to see him. I think he would look great with belts, but not as a singles competitor. Even though I love his work, he's just not that guy. But he works so well in House of Black.
It's perfect.
I want to see them have the trios titles, but I want Malachi Black to be getting gold here. So I would love to see him do that. And I'm with you. I was torn between the two. I feel like the winner's coming out of the top 2 brackets. It's either going to be Pac or Malachi, I think.
Wow.
Again, unless Okada is in this tournament, at least one New Japan talent is picking up and taking AEW gold. I don't know what it's going to be, but that All Atlantic belt going to New Japan is a great way to keep belts out of AEW.
Yeah.
But we will discuss this later.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, Brad. I think your thought process is super spot on. And frankly, as much as I would worry about Miro not having gold immediately, tell me you wouldn't like to see Miro as an automatic first challenger for whoever wins the interim belt. If we can assume it's Jon Moxley walking out of Chicago with the interim belt, which I know you're not sold on yet, Miro versus Mox as the first title program until Punk returns, like, sign me up, man. Miro slides in and I think is an automatic threat. So yeah, I like your thinking on it. I would not hate the belt going to New Japan whatsoever.
Did Mox ever wrestle Rusev? Did Ambrose ever?
I think he did. I'm not able to point to, oh yeah, they fought at Backlash 2012.
Sure.
I think they had to have locked up. Absolutely. Not in NXT, but on main roster, I believe so.
Okay. I have no idea.
Nothing memorable in my mind.
No, I'm missing about 5 or 6 years of Raw, at maybe more than that, where I just stopped watching. Yeah, I got into the PG era and I was just like, this sucks. I'll just catch up with current product. And then I was like, oh, this also sucks.
Yeah.
And then it got better, and then it got worse, and then it got better again, and now we're somewhere in between.
I think by far Miro's most memorable feud on the main roster was against John Cena, which was fresh off of Miro's debut, competing against John Cena. He drops the belt to Cena at WrestleMania. That was the tank entrance, the epic tank entrance. But I think after that, I could be totally wrong here, man. I'm just going off of my memory. But after that Cena rivalry, I don't think anything quite reached that same level. And certainly Miro was not a top title contender. For whatever reason, he seemed sort of stuck in the mid card, which is incredibly hard to believe. This man, Brad, this man left WWE with his last memorable feud being against Bobby Lashley. They were fighting for the love of Lana, and Miro just seemed like the biggest chump in the world. That guy contrasted with the Redeemer who we have now. I just can't believe that he was misused to such an alarming extent. But I love the dude. I want him to have gold. I just think he could end up really benefiting from this by losing and actually, not winning the belt, and thus maybe even being Mox's first challenger if Mox were to win at Forbidden Door.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I would love to see him wrestle anybody at this point.
Yeah.
I thought his what do we call it? His return match? Just trying to think of the word there. Was great. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought Johnny Elite was a good dance partner for him. But I want to see him in a sirloin match again. I want to see him and Wardlow. I want them to have a program.
Yeah, if it's not Mox, I really think that could be the route for Miro. And I don't know. I mean, I don't want to add another question to you here, but thinking out loud, if we get Scorpio versus Wardlow at All Out, I think Wardlow has to win that. And then maybe the big title program for the TNT belt is Wardlow versus Miro. Brad, that would be, I don't know how you feel about this, but that would be,
That'd be amazing.
The biggest TNT, maybe I'm just a mark for these two guys, but I think that'd be the biggest TNT title match to date. And we've had some bangers, but
yeah,
that would be something very special. Miro is going to be in a title program regardless.
Yeah, well, he has to be.
He has to be.
I'm going to be
pissed if
he's not. Now, I know there's like shooting schedules and stuff like that are probably going to be in the way at some point, but man, I think we're overlooking this. I think we're overlooking how good this Miro Ethan Page match is going to be.
We are.
Ethan Page is not a small man.
No,
that is an absolute hoss that's going to be in there. So I
think there's any chance he wins. Are we just totally underestimating him in every aspect? He's for sure going to lose this.
Ethan Page would benefit a hell of a lot more from it than Miro. Miro's already held gold, which gives him more credibility, but like maybe Scorp or Lambert or somebody gets involved. Like, there's a thing that could happen. Hypothetically, Miro's out there, Paige Van Zandt gets involved, eye poke or something, and then what happens? Lana comes running down the ramp to,
I knew you were
to
going to say
intervene.
that. Yeah.
That would be really, really fun. Even if she's not like on the roster or wrestling, which I hope she does. But even if she doesn't do that, get her out there and have her occasionally be Miro's manager. And like, she could just be on the side of the ring, like stretching and reminding everybody that that's Miro's flexible wife in all of his promos. I think it would be hilarious.
Yeah.
I think it would get a huge pop from the crowd every single time. And it would, I don't know what that makes him, heel or babyface. I don't care, frankly. Miro doesn't have to be either one of those things. This version of Miro is a bad guy and people love him for it. So just let him go. So I would love to see Ethan Page win. I really would.
Me too. I love
Can
both
you
these guys.
imagine the size of the ego's edge on Miro?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You would think that's going to be attempted, right? In this match?
It has to be. Yeah, it has to be.
And he's certainly strong enough to get Miro up for it.
So I'm kind of hoping that Ethan Page does win and then Pac beats Ethan Page. I think that makes all the sense in the world, because you could have Penta or Rey Fenix on the side that are like protecting him from Dan Lambert and company from getting involved. And I think that could be, I think that could work.
Yeah. I'm so excited as we talk about this, man.
I just can't wait.
I think the company is really in a can't lose situation with this. I mean, there's just so many talented dudes here. If Ethan Page wins, I think you and I will be ecstatic and really excited. If Miro wins, we certainly won't be complaining either. Yeah. I just hope, like you said, they're given the time to put on a banger. Like, please give them 12 to 15 minutes and just let them create magic.
Yeah, can't wait to see what happens. So I want to stay with this for my first question here. This week, the All Atlantic title debuted. This is the thing. This is based on the response on social media. Does AEW have a too many belts problem? Assuming we're getting trios as well. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Brad, last week you and I discussed. You asked me basically how AEW's organization problems and timing out their shows and the pacing. I think that's a valid critique, and I believe adding titles only complicates that issue. So I know you have a deep roster. I know we want to give people shine, but I don't think the solution is adding more belts. We know for a fact, and I believe Fightful maybe perhaps first reported this. You and I consume Fightful the most, so we credit them often. We know trios belts are going to happen. That's an undisputed fact. Waiting for Kenny to come back. So that's going to be a thing. I'm happy with just adding the trios and that being it. Like you said, this All-American belt, perhaps this is some New Japan integration moving forward. And so we're not seeing the belt necessarily every week on AEW TV, but there is a belt problem, man. There's just, I think when you have so many, the value, the luster starts to decrease. And now we have Britt Baker and Adam Cole. As much as we love the power couple, as much as you and I do, they're walking around with the Owen Foundation.
They really
belts.
Shouldn't be. Keep it off TV.
It's
confusing.
It's too much. I know that keeps them. The argument could be that keeps them in a prominent role. When you just see someone with a belt, you know there's somebody. But man, it's a problem. There are way too many belts right now.
There are currently 3 belts that don't mean anything that are on TV. The 2 Owen belts and the FTW belt. The FTW belt means a lot to me and to you and to ECW fans who understand what it represents.
And for Hook, that's going to be an essential Hook storyline.
Yes, but that's it. It's an absolute MacGuffin right now. Like it's just sort of there. Yeah. And they have to care about it, but we can't care about it because it doesn't matter. There's no tournament for it. That it wasn't earned, it was bestowed. It just there's so many problems I have with those kinds of things. You can't be an AEW fan who only criticizes WWE product stuff. Like if we were going to talk WWE right now, I'd want to talk about how stupid it is to have Asuka and Becky working in the 24/7 program and having Becky losing in those matches. I understand why they had Becky in there because it's sort of the downfall of Becky and that's their storyline right now. And I love it.
Yeah. Kind of similar to her hubby. Very similar to what they've done with Seth in recent memory.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk. I want to talk about Seth too. And don't.
Oh
don't
yeah, I
forget.
think we're gonna have some significant WWE time.
Oh
Someone's
man.
pectoral pec getting torn off the bone. That will
Yeah.
be addressed. Absolutely.
So I just don't know why you put Becky and Asuka in there. Why do they both need to be in that program? These are champions. These are your top stars. And you can't sit there and be like, Naomi and Sasha are leaving. Bailey's still on the shelf. Charlotte's gone for the wedding. We have Rhea doing Rhea things, which is great. And we have Bianca, but then we take the rest of them and like we're gonna start using Shotzi now. You didn't do shit with Shotzi for 6 months. Where has she been? And like they're so ass backwards over there. They don't know what they're doing. Like Natalia, I appreciate all she's ever done with the company. Don't sit there and make me try to make me think that this is a person that's going to end up winning anything. Get out of here with that.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of excitement around a potential Rousey versus Natalia match again. That's just not what we're looking for.
No, or just Rousey at all.
Yeah.
Shayna Baszler is right fucking there. What are we waiting for?
Yeah,
like this is so stupid. It's
Did
so
you see Shayna in NXT? It's money. You have the blueprint. You have the blueprint right there.
So I'm writing an article right now, and one of the things that I saw was how furious Bruce Pritchard was about the Rock and Sock Connections. Rock, This Is Your Life. He was furious because he was like, it wasn't any good. The segment was bad. Lies. And it went 14 minutes over its allotted time. Not it was 14 minutes. No. It had a whole segment and then it went 14 minutes longer than that. And he was pissed because he had to tell all the other talent, your match just got cut, or your match is now 5 minutes long, or sorry about that promo, you're not getting it because they were selfish. It did an 8.39 rating and had over 10 million people watching that segment. So I think it worked. It doesn't really matter here. The point is, if you think that was bad, it explains all of the shit you've been trying to shovel down our throats this year in terms of storylines, especially in the women's division. But the men's division isn't all that much better. And then when you don't do these things, when you don't build up these other stars, what happens when your stars get injured? And we've had like this giant injury plague running through the wrestling industry right now. Seth Rollins, for my money, is the best wrestler on the planet right now. I don't think it's close.
Wow. Talk your talk, sir.
I mean, his promos are on fire. His promos are great. His character is perfect. His in-ring work is second to none. Like watching that, I watched that Cody match back, the Hell in the Cell match. I haven't watched a WWE match twice from the last decade outside of entrances in maybe ever. And I did it twice this year. I wanted to watch Stone Cold Kevin Owens again because I wanted to see if what I remembered was right.
Yeah.
And then I watched this Cody Seth Hell in a Cell match again because of the way that they worked. And I was like, did I imagine just Seth being pinpoint, using the bull rope and using the strap and using whatever and hitting him on the pec, but very clearly having it wrap around and hit him in the back. So it looks like he's hitting him right here, but it's really landing on his back. I thought like everything he did in there was masterful in making it look like I am killing and hurting this man and being so unbelievably safe. I cannot express enough how great Seth Rollins is. And he has not gotten the love that he deserves, probably because he says stuff. He gets emotional and defensive about his character and about what's happening in WWE. And I understand. I was going to
say, yeah, his those who criticize him would say he's a company guy.
Oh, he absolutely is. But I also think that something happens, he leaves, he goes to AEW. He's now a company guy. So I think wherever he is, but Vince is the person that gave him his opportunity and he's in a prominent role. And he loves it there. He's with his wife there and it works there for him. That's great. Awesome. Like, why would I be mad about that? Like, I love what he's doing there. It's great. The stuff he's done with Cody so far has been incredible.
I agree with you. I love this energy you're bringing. Seth is amazing. Like you said, for whatever reason, whether it's claims of being a company guy, which has obviously a negative connotation, or whatever it might be, it seems like we don't talk about him enough. He was white hot when he cashed in Money in the Bank. We have Money in the Bank. Excuse me, coming up here this summer. But yeah, he was white hot at that time. So that was like 2015, I think, when he cashed in at Levi's Stadium. But since then, I really think, frankly, and we could go 2 hours on this subject alone.
Yes.
I really think his feud against The Fiend really did, I don't want to say irreparable harm, because I think he's got a lot of momentum back in the last year. But for whatever reason, Brad, I think we know the reason, that feud with The Fiend culminating in the Hell in a Cell match from, I want to say, Sacramento, that just did, I think both, if we look back on it now, 3 years, right, removed from that match, that match did so much harm to both wrestlers, to both characters. I think The Fiend and Seth were not the same after that. But luckily, one of those characters has recuperated in Seth, and just for the fact of him putting on bangers and just having, it seems like for him, whatever he's given, whether it's great or not great, the dude just makes it work. I wouldn't say that the nefarious egomaniac fashion centric dude, I forget what he called himself when he's wearing the ridiculous suits, and I don't know that character is necessarily for me. It's not is it the Drip God, or is that Johnny Elite? There was Johnny Drip.
Well, he was the Drip God. He was Drip God, and now he is
Monday Night Messiah.
No, he was Monday Night Messiah.
I like Monday Night Messiah, yeah.
And now he's the something else, and I don't remember what he calls himself.
Yeah.
Because I want to say it begins with an A, and I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
But it's like, I keep thinking the Anointed.
Right.
That's
and then,
right.
I
guess he's simply now he's Seth freaking Rollins, right?
Right.
I mean, we don't really have to say anything else.
And he had, when he was the Messiah, he had the feud with the Mysterios, and that's back when Buddy Matthews is with him, and AOP was with them. Then AOP was released. So there's been some potential, but I wouldn't say these gimmicks have been slam dunks that he's been working with. But I'll just close by saying he makes it work. Brad, I couldn't agree with you more about his in-ring work. Even the choice of gear, I fully believe that was his idea, to have the dusty polka dots. Do you remember what he wore at the Rumble?
The Visionary.
The Visionary.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you remember his gear for his Rumble match?
Oh my God, it was amazing.
The entrance, you can't tell me that wasn't his idea.
No, 100%. And he did it before that too, with the Rey Mysterio program, where he came out in the Halloween Havoc gear.
I think I was at your place for that.
Yes, you were. Yes.
The truly final thing I'll say here is I love what you're bringing. What I really respect about Seth is that I think we're living in this world where artists, celebrities, companies, etc., really capitalize on social justice messaging. So if you open up your email right now, Brad, I guarantee you have messages from Kohl's, from Target, from Walmart, all about celebrating Pride Month, and even some Juneteenth sprinkled in.
Oh my!
Which are critically important, and I fully, obviously, believe in both.
Of course,
not causes, but celebrating these moments and months and events. But it just seems like often companies and folks are doing it just for their bottom line, to increase sales, not because they're committed to the work. I say all this because I remember Seth a few years ago put out a Black Lives Matter tweet. I don't remember the specific month and year or what this was on the heels of. I would imagine it was after a murder, and he wanted to spread some advocacy that way. But he was down with the cause. He was tweeting out BLM well before Randy Orton, who was caught on a stream saying the N-word, which I don't think we've ever really spoken about that as a community. We just kind of forgive him because he's a legend. And now it appears that he's with the cause. I don't know what changed for him, but Seth was down for it well before it was cool, and well before it was just so trendy as it is from summer 2020 till now. So I love Seth Rollins. I'm here for what you're bringing this episode, man. He's that dude. He's that dude.
Yeah, I love that, dude. I don't know. I'm with you, man. Like I don't know that I got I got the Contigo bottle. I did not get the
That's a hell of
Juneteenth
a water bottle. That's
water
like
bottle.
3 times what I got.
Do we get Juneteenth cakes? Should we do that, or like
Juneteenth ice cream from
pride
Walmart?
popsicles or something
Who's asking for that? Like that's not. No. Who was in the room? Who were the decision makers for this? Who gave the green light?
I have a feeling they look like me, and a lot of them are named like Francis probably is in there. There's a Francis involved, and maybe a Gene. I feel like just
yeah, those two. Yeah, yeah,
and
man. I
they
love
said
it.
Things like, we really want to support them. Goddamn.
Yeah, and like if you're gonna Under Armour, Nike, these brands we love, if you're gonna sell Pride gear, can you make more than 2 shirts? And shouldn't all the profits go to? This is becoming a hot take. Shouldn't all the profits go to
I don't think
a worthy cause? It just I find it so interesting. Like when Black History Month, when Under Armour, Nike didn't even release anything, I don't believe, but when Under Armour released their line, it was literally 2 shirts for dudes, Brad, some items for women, and then like a running shoe. So it's already limited, but then you tell me y'all can't just have a message there of, all proceeds or all profits are going to this worthy organization, or this worthy organization for Pride Month. Just, I was in Walmart today and I saw Pride tees and Juneteenth tees. So on one hand, appreciate it's a conundrum, man. On one hand, appreciate the representation and that it's there, but also we're selling some T-shirts, but is there going to be an impact beyond? I just gave you my $10 for this this tee.
Well, I think there's got to be a better way around it, and I have 2 things to say here before we get to the next segment.
Yeah.
I like what we've become here, though.
Yeah. A lot of ground is being covered.
Yes. First of all, Memorial Day was what, 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah, end of May.
Yeah, and there was a lot of USA merch that I saw out in different places. You go into Lowe's right in the beginning, Home Depot right in the front, all of that stuff.
Yeah, Target,
and that's great. I always reflect on that stuff. I have family members who are servicemen and women that luckily came out of it alive, but not everybody was lucky enough to be able to say that. So I think about that on Memorial Day. None of the shirts said Memorial Day. None of them said like Happy Memorial Day. 4th of July is coming up. There's going to be more shirts. Most of them probably won't say 4th of July. And if they do say 4th of July, they're probably going to be in script that looks like the Declaration of Independence, acknowledging that stuff. You could also just wear red, white, and blue on the 4th or on Memorial Day. You don't need shit saying Memorial Day. Like that's weird. That's weird. So the, even though the shirt got immediately worn out, that shirt that I got with Big E and Kofi on it, and all the proceeds went somewhere, Tyler. All of the proceeds went somewhere. I got this really cool wrestling shirt that said Black Lives Matter in the background behind those 2 in the ring on a knee with their fists in the air. It was awesome. And for 2 reasons. One, it was allowed, right? Like they let that happen. WWE said, do you be individuals, be who you are.
Yeah,
we're not going to stop you. Yes. Right. And I feel like, I don't even think it was still PC at that point.
Was it really?
I don't even think they were in Thunderdome, because that was
like a lifetime ago.
That was May 2020. So I don't think that was Thunderdome. That wasn't until the fall, I think.
Wow.
At least. And because I remember the picture is very small. It's like ring, immediate wall. And it's,
I think you're right. You're absolutely right. That's a good catch.
It's just one of those things where I was like, this is going somewhere. And this is the last thing that I wanted to say. The second part of this is the NFL did this for years with their military stuff. They had their military appreciation week, and they had all that military gear. $0 went to any military anything, not Wounded Warriors, nothing. It's support your military by dressing like them. We're not going to give them shit. We are the biggest sport in America, billions of dollars. And what do? We run black bodies into the ground, and then we don't support anything we claim to be supporting. The NFL is just terrible.
But we have end racism in the end zone.
That's right.
It's like Deshaun Watson is really getting. I mean, this is covering a lot of different topics.
Oh, it's so complicated. Yeah,
Deshaun,
that one's so complicated.
There's
like, Black Lives Matter, but you're a piece of shit. Like, it's what you want. Yeah,
yeah. And by the way, it's universally recognized for anyone who's going to be honest that you all completely blackballed Colin Kaepernick. Like, that's just sitting there. And I'm guilty of recognizing that happened and totally being Team Cap, but still watching football because, Brad, so many of us grow up with it, and it's more than just entertainment. It's a lifestyle. It's every Sunday and Monday and Thursday. Like it's fascinating how it's become more than just entertainment. Like I think football is very unique in that. I don't even think basketball or really any other major sport has that same sort of clout. I don't know if clout's the right word, but football, there's just something different, man. Thanksgiving, like people just, it's a generational love that's really passed down. But like you said, I sent you a message this week between the Jack Del Rio comments, comparing January 6th with summer 2020.
A dust up.
A dust up. Like, come on, bro. There's Jack Del Rio. Then there's Deshaun Watson, who's, getting, I think, the richest contract in recent memory or even of all time in the league.
Yeah.
Even though two more accusers have come out this week, it's like, I don't know that I want to watch this anymore. But now I actually feel like I have to stand by my word. So we'll see if I have the fortitude to follow through with that. I hate that this is happening during a summer in which the Arizona Cardinals are the Hard Knocks team. I've been yearning for this for a while for them to get that honor, but I feel like there's a larger moral issue at hand about just supporting a sport that, like you said, just has some real ethical issues. But then again, like they're not alone. We just talked about certain companies and where companies' monies go and whose politicians' pockets they're lining. I think AT&T got into some trouble this week with that. So it's like, bro, at that point, we're just like stressing. And where do we shop? I don't know. We're just maybe we still have to shop local, Brad, and hope that they're doing the right thing.
Well, speaking of shopping, Tyler, we have a segment here. It's time for Hot Take Ty. Take us away.
Now it's time for Hot Take Ty. Spicy.
Yeah, Brad, I appreciate you, man. Let's steer the ship back on course. Hot take this week. You inspired this actually right before we went on air, so this is very much organic. Brad, I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet, my dude. You shared with me that you went to Ross earlier today. I shared with you that I went to Ross about 2 weeks ago. So you and I are big fans of this place, and hopefully our listeners and viewers also have fond memories of shopping at Ross. My hot take, though, is as lovely as Ross is, it's really an oasis. When you find some good deals there, you find some gems. But Brad, you told me that you had a very similar experience to me in that at Ross, even if you're guaranteed to find some nice garments for reasonable prices, it never fails that when you get home and you start to unbox or take out your items out of the bag, you realize that you got a piece of clothing that was not your correct size. But this was not your fault, Brad. This was not my fault. It is Ross's fault. Because they had the size medium shirt, or they had an XL shirt on a size medium hanger.
Yes.
Brad, I'm a medium, and I'm gonna trust that when I go in the medium section, all those articles of clothing are that exact size. So when I get home and see that I actually picked up an XL, and it looked like a medium in my eyes in the store, I couldn't tell. It looked like it was in the right place. When I find that it was not the correct size, I get upset, and then I recognize I have to go back to return the item. I have to brave the heat. I have to touch the seatbelt, and I have to correct what was not my fault to begin with. I love Ross, but they got to figure this out, Brad. It happened to you. It's happened to me on more than one occasion. And I think it's happened to our listeners and viewers out there. It is time for a change.
I'm going to let them know when I get there to listen to the pod. I'll timestamp it. Yeah, man, I'm figuratively and literally heated about the fact that I got to go back for a pair of shorts that were, by the way, I ended up getting some Pride underwear. No idea where they're going, but where the funds are going. But I know they're not getting all of it because they were on sale because it's Ross. But they were like, I take a 31, 32 waist, depending on the clothes and depending on the day, I guess. And these were 36. I put them on and I put them on and then I let them go. And then they just started falling off my body. Like
It's not 32.
Mad. I could absolutely go get a belt and make that sumbitch work, but I don't want to have to.
Here's my question though. Do you think, hear me out. Do you think this is a sadistic plot by Ross employees to get you back to return? And then there's probably about a 50% chance that they're going to yield a sale from you because you figure, well, I drove out here. Gas is expensive. It's skyrocketing. Let me just shop again while I'm here. And thus, it's a vicious cycle.
100%. I'm already thinking about the pants that I put back that I'm like, maybe I'll go look at them again.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle, Brad.
Yeah,
but we're not going to give up our Raw shopping because when you find some
not.
gems, you absolutely find some gems.
All right, hit me with question 2. Let's go. We're 46 in. We're not even halfway.
No, we're not, Brad. I'm
we're not even close.
Looking at my phone for this one. So, man, it's the classic case where I have 4 questions for you prepared, but I have to decide here. So I'm going to go with it. Brad, this week we saw Toni Storm. This is on Dynamite. We saw Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa in the same ring. This was after Thunder Rosa defeated Marina Shafir. We saw the classic Toni, 2 baby faces. Toni is saving Thunder Rosa from a beatdown from Marina post-match. Toni saves the day. Thunder hits a Thunder driver. And then they have this kind of face-off with the belt. Thunder Rosa's championship in the middle. So, Brad, my question here is we got it. We got Toni and Thunder in the same ring. Your thoughts? Where do we go from here? Is this the all-out match?
I sure hope so, and I hope Toni wins. Toni's a bigger star than Thunder Rosa. I hate to say it.
Wow, that's... Brad, you're stealing my gimmick, my dude. That is a hot take.
I don't know that it's a hot take. Wow. Thunder Rosa was built there. Mm-hmm. Right?
She
was. Is that deniable? I mean, she was the NWA champ, but nobody cared. Like, nobody cares what's going on in the NWA, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's that name means a lot to wrestling history. That name means a lot to people that love the game. But when we're looking at them on TV, the NWA champ shows up to AEW, which is basically the NWA belt. Well, it's not a good comp because the WCW belt essentially was the NWA belt. I don't know. It'd be like ECW when it was on WWF products. Can't say the ECW championship meant as much as the WWF title when it was, or even the Intercontinental title at that time, because those were the only 2 belts besides the tag belts. So for me, like, Toni Storm was immediately one of the biggest stars in the locker room, certainly in the women's division. Jade, Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker, Toni Storm. You could throw Ruby in there if you want to, but at that point, Ruby had kind of been off TV and she's lost a bunch, and she still has. And Toni's done that a little bit too, but Statlander star's on the rise, but she's not higher up than Toni right now. Thunder Rosa, her title run's just been Her matches have been great, but her title run, apart from the matches, have been kind of boring. It just has been. I've been down on this whole run. Serena Deeb and Thunder Rosa should have been just like the greatest thing ever, and the match delivered, absolutely delivered. The build for it was just ass. The whole thing, the whole build for it was terrible. And before that, we got Nyla. So I don't know. I'm down on it with Toni Storm. It seems like every match she's been in has been a great match. She's awesome on the microphone. I hope we get this, but I don't know. I don't know who the big stars are right now. All the stars are sort of on the same playing field. There's no like top anybody. It was going to be one of my questions. Like, who right now is the top star in AEW that is active, not injured?
Wow.
I legitimately have no idea.
I don't know that there's a lack of contenders for that title.
No.
I'm
Absolutely not.
Initial names: Jon Moxley, Hangman Adam Page, Jade Cargill, Britt Baker.
So let me
MJF. What do you think?
I was going to say, let me rephrase it. Who's the biggest draw?
I think that's MJF. I think it has to be
MJF, right?
MJF or Mox, I would say.
I don't know. Mox, I don't think so.
Really?
No, I would say Danielson over Mox, but Danielson's
kind of taken a back seat. Yeah, with BCC, he's clearly taken a step back from, when he was feuding with Hangman and was the biggest deal in wrestling.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that there's no stars. I just don't know that there's that transcendent.
Sure.
There's no Roman Reigns. There's literally no Cody. There's no that next jump up. Yeah. Everybody's sort of here. Punk is probably as close as you get, but he's not there right now. He's out.
Yeah, he's out.
And even Punk's run hasn't been quite where it was before, but I don't think anybody expected it to be.
No, he's in his 40s. He took 7 years off, and
he looks great. And everything.
I don't think any of us. Yeah,
I've really enjoyed his run. I don't know why people are down on it. Whatever, get over yourself. But it's right now. I don't know who any of the stars are, man. Like I don't know. The top of the women's division right now is Jade.
Yes,
unquestionably. But Jade doesn't wrestle. She had the match at the pay-per-view and then has kicked people and has had her baddies out there, which I think has ruled. She comes out, she looks like an absolute star. She's with Big Stoke, but I'd also like to see her wrestle since she's only wrestled 32, 33 matches in her career. I would like to see her get in there and actually get in the ring and destroy people. The problem is, I think that she's eaten everybody. I don't think there's Athena is the only one I think one-on-one she hasn't beaten. I'm not sure if Toni Storm and her mixed it up one-on-one.
No, I don't think they have.
Statlander and Jade have, I believe, when she was still an alien.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is a weird sentence, but I'm pretty sure that happened.
Yeah, it seems like you and I don't think really expected this. If we were to go back a month or two ago, it really feels like Chris Statlander is that person to dethrone Jade. I did not see that coming, but man, I really think you got to ride this momentum. You got to ride this momentum with. I don't know if All Out is too soon, but I don't think you want to miss this opportunity to put her over huge. Chris,
no, but to go back to your original question, I think Toni Storm should win. I think Thunder Rosa should lose, and I think. Wow. Here's the thing. I love all the stuff that happened with Thunder Rosa. I feel so good that she won. But when they were like eyeballing each other, bro, give me a Thunder Rosa heel turn, please. Thunder Rosa would be incredible. I think so much better because like all of her promos haven't really been I've accomplished it. I've gotten here. They've been like, I've gotten here despite all this stuff, and she could easily flip that script and be like, I've put up with so much of your bullshit, the fans not believing in me and all this, and then immediately you're a heel. And I think it could be great. Just ass kicker Thunder Rosa out there, mad at everybody, beating everybody up because she deserves it more than everybody else. Give me that, and then give me babyface Toni Storm. But I don't know that we're going to get that leading up to the pay-per-view, but I think it would be a good reason for Thunder Rosa to turn. and maybe have a rematch or something. I don't really know, but I also think it's too soon for her to drop the belt. So I don't really know what's going to happen.
I think so. I did not consider a Thunder Rosa heel turn in the relatively near future, but yeah, Brad, if and when she drops the title, changing up her character in that way feels really promising to me. She was a heel for a decent part of her NWA run, especially when she really started getting her name out there before she won the NWA title, and she was awesome as a heel there. So not only do I trust your judgments generally, but I've also seen it with my own two eyes that she can work heel and it can be awesome. So I'm not ready for her to drop the belt as soon as you. I really even think All Out is too soon, but her dropping the belt, that leading to her becoming heel, and like you said, calling out the fans and just sort of, blurring the lines between what's a work and what's a reality. Like, you all didn't believe in me. Like, you rooted for me to beat Britt, and then you turned on me. I think that could be money. I'm here for it. I
think it gets her out of that rut of saying the same promo over and over and over again too, where it's like, I have no investment in the thing she's saying, and maybe it's because it's not for me. But I don't know. I really don't know. I've just been kind of down on her run, not on Thunder.
I know Rosa. You have. Yeah.
I just it's been middling at best.
Right. I think there is a distinction to make, because I know how much you enjoy her work and appreciate her as a pro wrestler, as certainly do I. But you're really speaking to the run and the build for her matches, which I think universally the IWC would agree the build to some of these feuds she has have been really lackluster. You and I have spoken about it, the feud with Nyla, the build to the Serena Deeb match that you mentioned. Like, they didn't do her any favors with those, which is really disappointing because you and I were stoked for her title run. I'm still holding out hope that we can change that for the better. But Brad, speaking of things that are better, ? I thought I was going to have a better transition there. I just know that you and I are not the only members of the mighty 19 Media Group. Gimmick Infringement is not the only show on the 19 channel, Brad. There is a great team full of talented content creators. So I think it's time that we go to State of 19 Media.
And now it's time for the State of the Biz.
Brad, I'm looking at the list here, and I think it is your time to go first. Let's do it.
All right, let's go. Hip to the Games is back like it never left. Check out Desmond's interview with Houston artist MC Mills to discuss her latest mixtape, A Never Ending Love for Michael Jordan, and much more.
Also, check out our dude Jabari Davis and the NBA Finals File podcast, his project with multi-time NBA champion Robert Horry. They break down, Brad, I think you're going to love this. They break down the 2005 NBA Finals matchup between the San Antonio Spurs and the Detroit Pistons on their latest episode.
I have not listened yet. I am still recovering. Speaking of hoops, James and JP dropped a new edition of Dunk Tales. They're breaking down the performances and storylines of the current NBA Finals, featuring the Boston Celtics versus the Golden State Warriors. Check these guys out. You won't regret it, but I regret doing an awesome version of the DuckTales theme to this Finals and getting zero interaction. Thanks for nothing, guys from DuckTales.
It's a big summer for the Orlando Magic and its fan base. On the latest episode of Close Up Magic, superfans Steven and Malik welcome Jackson Frank, such a great name, of basketballnews.com to discuss the imminent stardom of Wendell Carter Jr. Also, Steven and Malik, thank you for the shout out on your recent episode. We appreciate the love greatly.
Jackson Frank is absolutely a 90s manager for a heel stable. Finally, shout out to Mike Steph, former GI guest and fellow podcaster. Check out his show, The Salty Thoughts of Donnie Yu, for detailed, passionate commentary on the latest news in sports, professional wrestling, and New York politics. He popped me several times with his rants about the Mets on this most recent episode. Please
So
check
good.
it out. It's always a good time.
Yeah, he's one of one. And speaking of people that are so great to us with support, shout out to Donnie, to Mike Steph for not only the great work he does that always entertains us, but for the love he shows to GI. It's also much appreciated.
Tyler, it's time for question 2 at 59 minutes and 10 seconds, which I'm currently writing down because I forgot to do 58-ish minutes. Okay. We saw 2 different AEW shows this week, and I thought they were fine. Great? No. Fine. It feels like they were seriously, and we kind of talked about this already, seriously missing star power in a lot of their matches. What can AEW do? And this is a specific star that I'm thinking of here. What can AEW do to bolster talent that has experience and knows their way around a ring and is actually much better on a microphone than they're given credit for? This week, Jake Hager wrestled Eddie Kingston and lost. Look at Jake Hager for 2 seconds. That dude, despite his opinions on things, is not getting much of a spotlight. He's been tertiary in the 2 stables he's been in since he's been introduced. He was very early on. I don't know if we would call him an original, but really close to being an original with Jericho's stable, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, he was
third week.
He was there episode 1. Yeah. He was there.
He wasn't at All In. He was the first episode of Dynamite.
Exactly.
Yeah. So he's been there forever. And the former Jack Swagger was in this ring. I thought it was great. It looked like he was leading. I really enjoy his work. He's not perfect, but I really enjoy it. And he's a legit badass. What can AEW do with people like him that have all of this experience, that are that look like stars, to actually do a better job of building them into something? Because I don't think any of us thought for a second Hager was actually going to beat Eddie Kingston, even though in real life Hager would handle him in 0.3 seconds.
Great question. Great setup there, my dude. Yeah, this is a tough one, and I don't know that I have an immediate answer for you, but I'll certainly try to provide some coherent thoughts. In terms of this week's programming, yeah, I did feel, like you said, it felt fine. It felt like there was some star power missing. I think when you consider, as we were mentioning some of these names earlier, who was their top star, you had programming this week, obviously without CM Punk. Adam Cole made his entrance and was on commentary, but wasn't in the ring. No Danielson, no MJF. Like, there were some serious names that were gone, particularly on the men's side there. Hager is interesting because on one hand, you're right. He's a veteran of this business. I remember when he first debuted on AEW TV, he was treated like a huge deal. I remember that program he had with Mox for the belts. He lost on an episode of Dynamite, but he was really built up to be one of those top guys. I don't know that building up Jake Hager again is the answer. Like you said, I don't know that really he does it for you and I. Every time I go to Walmart or Target, guaranteed, Brad, there are 2 to 3.
Saw 3 of them there today.
2 to 3.
Yeah,
happened to me today too. I did pick up the Chris Statlander.
Oh, well, of course you have to.
As you know, made my morning. But there were several Jake Hagers. In case you want me to pick one up and send it to you, I do accept them.
I'll take one. Like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, still $20. You would think.
Yeah, still
clearance.
Still,
respectfully.
Yeah.
I don't know that building him up is the answer, but certainly, like you said, who are those veterans that we can build up and perhaps move the needle with? WWE obviously has that issue. I think that was part of the reason we saw Cody wrestle even with the torn pec, is because there was no one, correct me if I'm wrong, there was no one who you could just fill in, plug and play with Cody being out, because they just haven't built up those top dudes. As much as we love AEW, perhaps, Brad, I don't know if this is the case you're making, but perhaps there is some semblance of that in AEW as well, where, once a few of their top guys are out, namely Punk, we didn't see MJF, Adam Cole's not wrestling. Who is that next? Who's that next level of stars that can carry the product? Wardlow appeared. He's going to destroy 20 security guards next week. But even in the Battle Royal, I think even the main event too, Brad, and then I'm going to kick it to you. I think part of the reason you feel this way and I feel this way is the main event was so interesting to me of Dynamite because I love Jon Moxley. I'm a huge fan of Kyle O'Reilly, but that to me that felt like a missable main event, which feels weird to say given that they're two of the best workers anywhere.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It was obvious to anyone with a pair of eyes that Moxley was going to win that match. It just felt a little anticlimactic to me. So for me, I think more so about the main event and how that felt lackluster. I think there are some guys who are being built, but Wardlow isn't that top guy yet. And anyway, those are my immediate thoughts. For me, I point to the main event specifically. Yeah. That's what made it feel kind of lackluster to me. But I know you have a ton of thoughts on this one.
So it's complicated. So there are like 3 or 4 guys that I would say like you could easily put in there. I thought Kyle O'Reilly and Jon Moxley, that match was great. Hella entertaining, and man, did they lay their shit in.
They did. They did.
I loved it. I thought it was an excellent match, and it should have main evented. It deserved the spot. It's just like you said, there's none of us thought for a second that Kyle was going to win, even though I know that in the future, Kyle's a future champion. Mm-hmm. There's no question in my mind that dude's he's gonna have the strap at some point.
Yeah, it was like it was just so predictable, though.
Yes, 100% agree with you.
Yeah,
I struggled with that. I was actually shocked that United Empire lost in their match.
Me too.
Didn't love that. They did protect Will Ospreay. He did not eat the pin.
Gotcha.
One of their top tag teams did, though. So that's a little weird, but they did it against FTR, but Trent Beretta is the one that did the pin. So, but knowing that Trent worked in New Japan for years, it makes all the sense in the world that Trent would be getting more of a spotlight here. And I love that he's getting more of a spotlight. For whatever reason,
I was going to say, yeah,
he's not resonating with the crowd. Like the crowd isn't picking him up right now and loving him. They loved him with Orange Cassidy and as best friends, but they're not loving this run that he's had. And I don't know why, man. Like it's been incredible. All of his matches have been great. He's an incredible worker and he's great on the mic. I think right now it's just they're reacting to him the same way they're reacting to Frankie Kazarian and to Jay Lethal. They're just sort of like, yeah, you're good. What else you got?
Yeah, the Frankie comp is a really good one by you.
Yeah, it's right because like consistently great work, consistently great on the mic. Like that's the reaction.
I think we need to bring back Sue. We need the minivan back.
Oh my God, yes. Because there's something silly like that. Maybe it's a personal connection. They see it and they're like, oh, he has a mom like I do. And then we just sort of subconsciously like for real. Like
yeah. Just
for 1 second in my life.
Of wrestling fans.
Well, yes, because just now I've never for 1 second thought, what does Orange Cassidy's mom look like? Now until just now where I'm like, yeah, what the hell does that lady look like? What's her name? Is it like Flora? Like I doubt it is. It's probably something like Sherry, like my mom, or maybe it's maybe a Stephanie or a Trish. I don't really know what an Orange Cassidy's mom looks like. We don't need to. That dude's made. Danhausen. My favorite moment of the week was Danhausen Hook. Danhausen
I'm glad you brought it up. Yes,
Danhausen on a golf cart and Hook given the look under the sunglasses.
Yeah, perfect.
Riding in like a Polaris RZR or something. Like just awesome.
Yeah. You were right about that, by the way. I was worried. You asked me several episodes ago, would Hook being would strapping a comedy gimmick to him, quote unquote, hurt him? And maybe some feel that way, but I do not, Brad. I was hesitant, but you called that. This partnership between him and Danhausen, Hookhausen, is absolute money,
man.
and was if not the highlight of the week. I completely agree. Swerve turned on Keith Lee, which I did not expect. I'm curious to see where that goes. It makes me a little sad that they're breaking up, but Hookhausen was awesome.
Yeah. So the Hookhausen thing, I think what, and then we'll move on from here.
Yeah.
I think why it works is that because Danhausen's so ridiculous, the serious ass kicking Hook is only highlighted by Danhausen being ridiculous. So I thought maybe it would pull him down and make Hook seem silly. But I think if you surround him by silly or surround him with silly, it just highlights all the things that he is. If that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think, frankly, that protects Hook in a way,
Yes.
because I think squash matches can be used very effectively, as we've seen. But for me, I would be concerned that Hook would just become baby Wardlow, because Wardlow is the dude on your roster who is squashing everyone in his way.
He's getting the Goldberg treatment.
Yeah, Jade was Lady Goldberg for a while, and frankly still is. Hook, I think if you have Hook also be that guy, as awesome as it was when he first came up, his first 5 or so matches, as much as you and I just geeked out over how great it was, I think this puts a really nice wrinkle, if you will, in his character. It's just something different that no one else is doing on the roster. It's money.
Do you think that, first of all, I want to say I think they've been using them perfectly, just the right amounts, like just sprinkle them in there. They don't have to be highlighted right now, but having them there, always present, just sprinkling them in for like 4 seconds, a 1 minute thing, a 2 minute thing, whatever, just inject us with that every once in a while. It's been perfect. And I don't know that they could have done it any better. It's like a buddy cop tag team. But one of the cops is a vampire. That's delusional. Yeah. Like I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that is something they're doing very well.
I did want to say this before we move on to the next segment here, or I guess ask you this with Lady Goldberg here. Jade is sort of on this unstoppable run. And she was given the Goldberg treatment, or has been given the Goldberg treatment. What do you do with that when she loses?
I think she goes on a tear and she becomes even more vicious than before. Chris Statlander has to be the woman who defeats her. To me, it really feels like that could be as soon as All Out. And I don't know that I would hate that, man. I think Jade loses and then just becomes an absolute monster, hopefully. And I think I heard this on a pod I was listening to. I forget who. Jade loses TBS and then wants to go for the women's world title, and then that I think would bring a lot of shine and maybe change.
Makes all the sense.
That would perhaps change the perception of the women's world title being the clearly second prize in the women's division, which I don't think was the intention when this started at all.
No. But I did want to, coming back to that, Marina Shafir had a great showing this week. I thought she looked great for how limited we've seen her on AEW. Her entrance legit scares the shit out of me. Like, she's a scary human being.
It's like Deonna Purrazzo meets Shayna Baszler.
Yes.
The music for Deonna Purrazzo in particular.
Yes.
But it's just
not the spectacle.
Yeah, virtuoso. I will say that she has a very unique presentation. I think she's someone to look out for, man. She had this match with Thunder Rosa. She fought Jade in a heavily promoted. I forget if that was Dynamite or Rampage, but it was Jade's 30th victory. It was heavily promoted.
She's huge.
Yeah.
She knows how to throw.
Yeah, she's legit.
She knows how to throw a strike. She knows how to do
fighter.
Like that Page punch on Sammy was the best punch I've seen in wrestling the entire year. And you know that Shafir could do that stuff. You know that she could do that. So I'm excited about the prospects. All of her transitions into different submission moves were as good as any technical wrestlers I've ever seen. Because she knows how to do them. Let her do that thing. Let her be a badass actual MMA fighter. That's her style of wrestling. She's a mixed martial artist. Let that be her thing. That's what they're doing, and I think it's working tremendously. But it's we got a long way to go. I'm thankful that we got to see it this week, and you know what? I think we have other things to be thankful for, Tyler. It is time to share some gratitude.
And now it's time for a little self-reflection. So, think about yourselves. Or something.
Yeah, one of my favorite segments, Brad. I will hope that our internet connection is good here for the closing few segments for us. So gratitude, man. I'm going to start and then kick it to you, actually. So I, of course, am going to put you over, as I do once in a while. So something I'm grateful for has been seeing your experience and your evolution as a dad. So, of course, receiving the Freya content from you and just chopping it up with you about just what it's like to kind of sit back and see this beautiful child that you and Jess have raised now, like, I don't know, become a full-grown person. It's got to be a trip, and I know how proud you are of Freya and grateful you are for this life you built. So, man, I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful for these moments where you share what the fatherhood experience has been like. I think as we approach Father's Day next weekend, as we record this, believe it or not, wow. Man, I'm just curious to hear, and I know I'm sure you have your own moment of gratitude as well to share, but I'm just so curious if you can summarize in the next 2 to 3 minutes, what has the journey been like for you? I know I check in with you every so often about this, but it seems like to me this Father's Day is maybe as special as that first one you had, just because Freya is growing and prospering. And man, I just want to hear how the journey's been for you. What are you feeling like?
It's been incredible. I know we shared before we started here. We go through these periods where it's like I feel like I've been a bad husband, a bad father, a bad friend, because we have all these things going on. And in between those times, you see your kid just sort of flourishing despite all that, or maybe because of all that. It's hard to know. But I just love how she's become. I said it when she was born. She just it was like trying to keep this potato alive. Like that's basically all it is. She looked like a baked potato, and it's like this plant that cries. Having a baby, like everybody was like, "Oh yeah, babies, that's so cute." Babies are freaking boring. It is a war of attrition. It is you aren't sleeping, but it's feed, poop, hold, and that's kind of all you do for months, if not an entire year. And then they start getting interested in things, and then they start walking, and then they start talking, and then it's a whole different experience. And we were playing catch the other day, and we do a game where we just lay on our backs, throw the ball up, or in this case, it was like a towel or something, and then she'll catch it, try to throw it, or whatever. We're just kind of tossing it back and forth in the air, laying right next to each other, and we like to put head on head right next to each other. And it's just like this, it's indescribably amazing. I don't know how else to describe something like that it could sound kind of silly, but in the moment it's not. It's truly wonderful. So I appreciate all the little moments, and I know she's going to kindergarten. Also next weekend, she is turning 5. Freya turns 5. Actually, I guess it would be Monday, or whatever day the 20th is. She will be 5 years old, and I can't believe that. Just absolutely so grateful for her, for Jess. I wanted for my moment of gratitude to say I'm so thankful for Jess, and so proud of her for all the stuff that she's doing with her small business that she's starting, with working full time. With right now she's out with Freya, and took her on a day where they went to the Children's Museum, and now she's got a fish tank all set up in her room waiting for her for when she gets home. She just completed her certificate program through ASU, and it was a year-long program, and it was 10 months or whatever, and a lot of work, and it's really improved her. And I'm just really proud of her, man. Like I'm so thankful for all we've been given, and all that we've been able to create together. And I'm so thankful for you this, doing all the social media posts, getting our podcast ready and organized. We would not be able to do this, and I feel like our consistency shows that. And I don't think people get to see the behind the scenes work that we do. And I just wanted to say I really appreciate all that you do. Lots to be grateful for. I'm also, it turns out, grateful for CBD oil and THC. Thanks for that, scientists.
Beautifully said, my dude. Thank you so much for your words there, particularly near the end. Man, I think it's time for our final questions. I'm going to roll right into question 3 for you. So, Brad, this is looking forward to the week ahead in AEW, specifically Dynamite. I think it's going to be a fun show. We have one match in particular that I want to ask you your thoughts on. This week's Dynamite, Road Rager. I'm not going to ask you about hair versus hair. I think Ortiz is getting his head shaved. I want to know how you would book the tag team championship triple threat ladder match that we're going to see. It is the Young Bucks versus the Hardy Boys versus the champions, Lucha Boy. Yeah. That's not it. Jungle Boy. Lucha Boy. Yeah. Lucha Boy isn't bad. Jungle Boy.
Embrace them.
And Lucha's. They're not Jurassic Express unless Marco is there. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Brad, quite simply, quite directly, this match should be something. How would you book it?
Man, it depends on who they're wrestling. If we're getting a match on Forbidden Door, I don't know who the tag champs are over there right now. As I belch into the mic. Oh, that was foul. I've been really. This was full. It's just ice now.
Embrace the mess.
It's just absolutely terrorizing this thing. And it's really hot here. I have had all of that water and I don't even have to pee a little. So just know that I'm evaporating. So we have the Lucha, not the Lucha Bros. You got me all mixed up. Young Bucks, Hardys, and Jurassic.
Yeah.
And Jurassic is losing. It's the other two that I'm not sure of.
Are you sure? Because we said that at the Pape, man. We thought for sure Jurassic was losing.
They have to this time around because
they think so. Okay.
Yeah, because Jungle Boy has gotten more aggressive with his "I'm pissed at you, Christian" stuff.
We saw the faces.
Yeah. So that's going to happen. They need to break up with Christian, and then Christian needs to go full heel, and I think it'll be great then. I think the Hardys win, and then I think they lose in like a week or two. They don't have a long run, but I think they get to add AEW tag team champions to their resume. The Bucks don't need it. The problem is that I can absolutely see the Bucks winning and then losing to the Hardys or something later on down the line. Because the Bucks worked in New Japan and built themselves in New Japan, and we have Forbidden Door coming, and what would be better than the Bucks being tag champs and defending it against the other tag champs in New Japan. So I really don't know what's going to happen here, but I think I think Jurassic drops, and I think that the Hardys pick up the win. Probably. Who do they pin? I don't know. I feel like maybe Christian tries to get involved, accidentally lays out Jungle Boy, costs them the match when Jeff does a swanton bomb onto Jungle Boy, probably not Luchasaurus, but onto Jungle Boy, accidentally helping his old foe. I don't know. I have no idea, dude. I also, here's the thing that I feel really bad about. I also don't really care. Like this Jurassic tag run has kind of been, they've defended against a bunch of really good tag teams, and I haven't cared.
Really, man, I think I'm higher on Jurassic than you in terms of this run.
I love Jurassic.
It hasn't been legendary by any means, but I've enjoyed it.
I don't know that I like Jurassic. I like them better as Express. Marco Stunt made that.
I think you miss Marco. I think you miss Marco.
Doesn't everybody? Like Marco getting a spot where Luchasaurus is just yeeting him into other people. That's the part that made that group. Marco Stunt being in Jurassic made Jurassic Express. Otherwise, this is a Jurassic Express match, or this is just a Jurassic match. Jungle Boy starts. Jungle Boy does great stuff. Stands up, does the thing where he looks around at the audience.
So cool.
After doing an unbelievable amount of athletic shit, then gets beaten down. What happens? Gets to the corner, tag, Luchasaurus, clothesline. He's being beat up, reverse, double clothesline.
So good.
Standing moonsault. Somebody hits him, then he's down, and then it's the same thing. Eventually we get a snare trap. And
it's a bit prescriptive.
It's so prescriptive. You've seen one of those matches since they've been champions. You've seen them all. And it's just,
you're not wrong.
God, they've booked them so poorly. Whoever's come up with those matches, and I don't know if it's because they have limitations because of inexperience. Luchasaurus been wrestling for like a decade. So that dude wasn't he in Lucha Underground as some, I can't remember what he was in, or AAA or something.
Yeah, he might have been. He was in NXT. Nothing noteworthy in NXT, but he did have a stint there. Yeah, he's been around.
But Jungle Boy,
we forget he's like 10 years older than Jungle Boy.
Yes, but Jungle Boy as an in-ring competitor is great in singles matches. So
future champ.
Yeah, and I'm not ready to see them break up by any stretch, because I would feel like it's when APA broke up and JBL turned on Ron. But also Ron was much older than JBL. So had it been around, same kind of deal there, without the spotlight and the stardom within those things. I'm ready to see it end. I love them together, but this whole thing has been like, well, we know what kind of match we're going to get. I'm over it. So I need to see somebody else. And it's not to say that all of them don't have that. The Lucha Bros do the same kind of thing. Penta will start, Ray will come in, he'll get thrown really hard into the ropes, and he'll do the reverse slingshot thing back. And I love his comebacks after, like, somebody will give him one of their finisher moves, and then he'll just stand up and kick him in the face before dropping back down to the ground. So they're both laid out. I love that spot.
Yeah, if he's not the best worker in the world, I don't know who is. Yeah,
Ray Phoenix is incredible, and I love watching him. Penta's also incredible. Yes. I wish Penta would drop all of the padding. I wish he would get rid of those clothes. He posted a picture on Twitter or Instagram or something. That dude is shredded, like capital S.
He's gotten into phenomenal shape
on his abs, and he's wearing like thick Batman 1989 rubber padding over it. And I'm like, what are you hiding there? Get rid of that thing. Just go out there and just, good Lord, you don't need that. You are officially Angus beef. Like you don't need that thing on your body anymore. You're not D-Lo. You can take off the chest protector. The Bucks do their matches. You kind of know what's going to happen in a Young Bucks match in terms of like an outline, but you never know what they're going to do in the match. That's the thing. It's like they so creatively put together their matches. FTR does the same thing. They always have their comebacks, and they get heat. All of those things are all really good. The Jurassic stuff has all been sort of the same stuff every match. And it's time for them to drop the belts. I don't really care where it goes. I'd rather see the Hardys get it for a very short run, because we've seen the Bucks do it. And if the Bucks are truly waiting for Kenny to get back to do trio stuff, then I don't want to see him be tag champs in the interim. But if that's what New Japan wants, for them to get a match on Forbidden Door, that's fine too. Maybe somebody from New Japan becomes AEW World Tag Team Champions. And then maybe it's the current IWGP champs over there. And then FTR challenges as the number one contenders and takes both of them. And now FTR has more belts under their waist. I don't know. I don't really know.
I'm really intrigued by this. I'm going to pick Hardys here, but your point about Forbidden Door coming up and the belts being possibly defended on there leaves me not as confident in my Hardys prediction as I may have thought. The Bucks winning makes a lot of sense. Like the Pape, I will predict that Jurassic does drop here. But I'm going to go Hardys. I think, like you, I think they definitely add that to their resume and does not need to be a long title reign whatsoever.
Last question for you. This is related to the other one. Eddie took a step back in the match that looked like actual back pain. So right early in the match, he stepped back because he was like staggering and selling the back, but he took a step and he did this hop thing. I know it. My back has been a problem in the past, and I've done that shit. I know what that looks like. That looked like shoot. He was having problems. So when they were carrying him off at the end, arm over arm, I'm pretty sure it's because he had to hunch over because his back was out. He was probably in back spasm. There are a lot of injuries, man. No denying it. We've already discussed this. Who is the star on the roster that you would like, that's not currently getting as much screen time, that you would like to see get more screen time as other people have gone down? Who is the star not currently getting that much screen time, men or women, doesn't really matter, that you would like to see get more shine or more time on screen?
Wow. Great question. Man, this is really tough. When you say more screen time, does that mean we see them somewhat frequently, but I want them more, or someone who's, say, relegated to dark most weeks? Or is it all fair game?
It's all fair game. You could say like Tony Nese. You could say even Darby, like, or man, there's so many, there's so many Lees on the roster. The captain, Sean Dean.
True.
Not the captain. Who am I thinking of? Not Sean.
Yeah, Captain Sean Dean. No.
Yeah, Sean Dean. Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. I was like, did I just convince myself something else?
No,
I was like, the Captain Sean Spears? That doesn't sound right.
Right. Yeah. Two Seans, but different. One's a captain, one is not. I have my answer for you. Men's side, I think I got to call back to a name from earlier, Ethan Page, man. Specifically seeing him in ring. I know we see him with Dan Lambert, but he's clearly, I think, playing second banana or, playing second fiddle to Scorpio. Scorpio's the champ, but I hope that this match on Wednesday will lead to us seeing Ethan Page more, even if he loses. But it's hard for me not to pick Ethan Page, man. When you combine in-ring work with mic skills,
oh my God,
the mic skills are tremendous, and the in-ring work is great.
Yes,
we don't talk about him enough. Ethan Page. I wanted to say Pac, but it's hard for me to say that when we just saw him pick up a victory this past week. I'll go Ethan Page, and then on the women's side, I really enjoy Diamante's work. I'm surprised that we don't see her more often. I want to go either Diamante or Riho, but clearly Diamante has not had anywhere near the spotlight Riho has over the course of their careers in AEW. Yeah. So my final answer to you is Ego, Ethan Page, and I think I'm going to go with Diamante on the women's side. Who are you thinking of?
Well, Emi Sakura is on Dark all the time as well, and she's a legend, and she's never on TV. I don't know if she's just there coaching or what, but I think so. But there's a lot of people. I kind of said it. I would love to see. I'm with you. All Ego, more time with Ethan Page. Good call on Diamante. One person that's no longer with the company that I'm kind of mad isn't there is Kylan King. I would have liked to see her more. I mean, she's great.
Yeah, she was at NWA this weekend, I believe.
Yeah, she has such a presence, and she's a monster. So I don't know why that didn't work out, but I would have loved to see her there. She had one Dynamite match, I believe, but that's it. And then I really. So this is kind of intriguing. We have MJF gone. Whatever's happening there is happening. FTR's doing their own thing. The Pinnacle is dead. They've, without saying it, because Wardlow's no longer part of it, obviously.
Yeah, FTR baby faces, like you said.
Sean Spears is a great worker. His entrance rules. I would like to see him more. I don't know why we don't see him more. I know he's not the youngest guy on the roster. Jericho has a faction and is always in spotlights. And he's probably the second oldest guy on the roster if you don't count Arn. And I don't really know what you do with Arn right now outside of Brock's manager, because I miss Arn being on TV with the clipboard with Cody. I just miss it. If Arn showed up on WWF programming with Cody, I'd have no problem with that. I would be I would be super excited about that.
That also makes me think of just the Nightmare Family or Nightmare Factory.
Yeah.
And even Lee Johnson. I really enjoy Lee Johnson's work. I'm surprised that
One of the leads
I may need to
Yeah.
amend my answer of Ego, because we do see Ego, because I just think he could be in a much more prominent role. Lee Johnson is someone who every time he's on my
Or
screen,
Moriarty. Yeah, like Lee Moriarty.
thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go with that as the official answer. Either
Yeah.
Lee Johnson, one of the Lees, either Lee Johnson
Outside of Keith.
Yes, so
Yeah.
many. Lee Johnson or Lee Moriarty, man. Moriarty was a big deal when we thought he was going to join the BCC, and it seems like, I don't know if he's injured, or I think he may even had some personal stuff going on. I think maybe he lost someone in his life, if I'm remembering correctly. Hopefully it wasn't an old tweet I'm thinking of. But yeah, man, Lee Moriarty, Lee Johnson, those are dudes who we just seem to not see ever, who I think could be big players for this company. We're seeing Daniel Garcia every week. We know, just about every week, we know Jungle Boy is that dude. I feel like Lee Johnson and Lee Moriarty aren't too far off from those guys. I think they're have just as much prowess if given the right storyline.
The only problem with that is that Takeshita exists in the world.
He's a player. Yeah, he's a big time player.
That dude, more of him on my screen. Oh my God.
Absolute Haas.
We were talking about laying your shit in. Woo boy.
Yeah, he's going to be a star. He is a star already.
He is a star, man.
You're a big fan. You're a big fan.
No shame saying that I'm just a giant mark for Takeshita. I would love to see Maki Ito come back and do some more. I love that she comes in just a little bit, but if we were going to do a faction here, throw her in with, I would love to see her in with Danhausen and Hookhausen every once in a while. I think it would be funny. I would love to see her like make a weird pairing with Keith Lee. I think could be absolutely hilarious because he's so serious, and I'm going to tell you about who I'm going to defeat this week. And then you have Maki Ito is in there like, hello, motherfuckers, which is basically all she does, and then throws the side headbutt stuff.
Yeah, that would be a juxtaposition for sure.
Absolutely, and I think it would be fun. But I also don't want to see Keith Lee end up doing the fun act and never in a title contention because he always needs to be there. Yeah.
Yes, we need him there.
But I also think it could work. I don't know, man. Like there's so much talent out there that I love. The crowd always pops for Maki. That's the thing. It's like the crowd's all over her. Like, this is awesome. She's great. Why? Because it's ridiculous. She comes out and sings her whole entrance song. It's so obnoxious. And then her finisher is just, I'm going to stop and then just teeter-totter into a headbutt. And it's awesome. And it's the girl with the hardest head. I think it's just it's a silly thing. It's awesome. But then there's what's her face that just came over and did some dark stuff. Her name begins with a Y. She just tweeted out a picture, retweeted Malachi Black because she's using basically that same spinning heel kick as a finisher. And he retweeted with going like, "This is awesome. Way to take that and make it yours. I love the follow through and the pause in midair.
Wow, I missed that.
All the stuff. Yeah, I'll find it for you and shoot it to you. But she's awesome, absolute ass kicker. Yeah, man. There's so many options. I'm gonna go with. I'll go with Lee, then I'll be unspecific as to which.
I think that's the perfect way to close the show. Leave with an air of mystery. Brad, this was a blast. I hope everyone tuning in, whether that's the audio, whether that's the video, enjoyed this. If you like what we do, please share with a friend. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. We promise you it makes a difference. And Brad, I look forward to our next episode, man. We got Impact Slammiversary next weekend. We got The Bachelorette returning in July. I'm starting to see the advertisements on social and on TV. We got great days ahead for GI.
Great.
We will see you all on the next one. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.